The first major content update for Wreckfest 2 just dropped, and so I figured, what better time than now to dive back in and see exactly what has changed. Bugbear put out a changelog on Steam, so we're going to be taking a look at that and talking about each major change, plus I'll be showcasing the new content in this video. If you enjoy what I do, make sure you like the video and subscribe, it helps me out a lot. I also have a Patreon that I've linked below where you'll find exclusive content and behind the scenes footage that I do not post here on YouTube. Alright, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the changelog. First up, we have two new tracks being added to the game. Fincross, which returns from Wreckfest 1, and a brand new track that doesn't have a name yet. They're just calling it European Rallycross 1. Fincross is pretty much the same as it was in the first game, mostly an asphalt track with tight corners and heavy braking zones. I wasn't a huge fan of this track in the first game, and I doubt that'll change in this one. I gotta say though, the European Rallycross track is exactly the kind of track that I love. Outside of the ovals and figure eights, of course. There's elevation changes and long sweeping corners that allow you to slide through them with the pedal to the floor. It's awesome. I think it might be my favorite track in the game at the moment. They've also added two new cars, and just like the tracks, one of the cars is brand new and the other is from Wreckfest 1. The brand new car is called the Bravian, not sure, but it looks suspiciously close to a BMW E46. I'm not normally a fan of European cars, but I think I really like this one. It's rear-wheel drive, which I prefer, and it feels pretty light. It can't take a whole lot of hits, but it's nimble, which makes it pair well with tracks like Fincross. They've also brought back the Rammer, which looks like an old Oldsmobile Cutlass. It drives about how you'd expect it to, it doesn't handle well, and it isn't all that fast, but it's heavy as hell, and that works to its advantage. In derbies and tight tracks where you just need to plow your way to the front, there is no better car than this one in the game at the moment. In addition to the new cars, they've renamed two of the existing cars. American 1 is now called the Crusader, and European 1 is called Gizmo. They've also fixed the sound of the Crusader. Here's a clip pre-patch and one post-patch. Yeah, much better. That's all for major content updates in my book. Everything else is more focused on the user experience side of things. Bugbear claims they've fixed some memory leaks and the game should use less VRAM now. And they've also added NVIDIA DLSS, AMD Fidelity FX, and Intel XeSS to the game. So that's pretty cool. I don't always use these upscaling technologies, but I love to see them. They've also added some other quality of life improvements like the ability to change some settings inside of the game instead of the usual game launcher, which I thought was kind of weird anyway, like why are we still changing graphic settings in a game launcher? They've also added the ability to invite your friends directly to a server, which is something I didn't realize I needed it until it was gone. No more telling your friend the server you're on and then trying to figure out if you're actually on the same server as each other or not. One other big thing I noticed is that you're able to remove the steering wheel and driver in the cockpit cam. So if you have a wheel and pedals, this should be more immersive if you're into that. You're also able to now customize the FOV inside the car, making it more narrow or wider. Here's the lowest FOV on the left and the highest FOV on the right. I don't really play in the cockpit cam, but I appreciate the option. They haven't forgotten about controller players either. They also added rumble support finally, though still no haptic feedback for the PS5 DualSense controllers. Bummer. I'm hopeful they'll add that feature in the future, and that was something that they added to Wreckfest 1 later into its life. They seem pretty open to ideas and feedback while they're in this early access period. Speaking of that, at the bottom of their changelog, they posted a content roadmap. Next month is when the next content drop is supposed to happen, with 2 new cars and 2 new tracks. And then after that, they're looking to the community for feedback. So I figured now is a great time to give them some of that feedback. I think bare minimum the cars need to have some kind of tuning and customization. Being able to tweak cars really elevates the experience for me. If I'm in a demo derby, I want a car covered in armor, speed isn't as important. Or maybe if I'm racing, I want to reduce my weight as much as possible and then drop better parts in it to improve my speed and handling. And I want visual customization parts too. I love seeing everyone's paint schemes and toppers and bumpers and all sorts of crazy stuff in the first game. I said it in my last Wreckfest 2 video, but eventually I want a proper career mode. And not like the career mode in the first game where it's just these loosely connected events that you're kind of just doing in a list. I want one like in the game Test Drive Eve of Destruction. In that game you basically start at nothing and you have to win events to earn cash to upgrade your car to compete in further events. You had to not only win races and win events, but you had to manage your finances, manage your garage, manage what upgrades and parts you put on your car. It's sick. I love it. And the track experience in that game was awesome too. There was an announcer who would shout out comments based on what was happening on the track. It was really sick. It was super cool. That's the one thing I felt was really lacking in Wreckfest 1, that kind of at the track experience. There wasn't like an announcer or anything like that. It didn't feel like I was at a racetrack when I was racing in the events. And I think Bugbear here has a really good opportunity to do something super cool and replicate that game, because honestly I don't see that game coming back anytime soon. On top of that, I'd love to see more variety in the game modes. Like, for example, I know that Bugbear are European, but here in America we have trailer races where they hook up a trailer to a truck or a van or whatever, and then they run as fast as they can on an oval track or a figure eight. They probably have that in Europe. I'm just ignorant to the situation, but that's just one example for me. But I think the possibilities are really endless. I mean, they could do all sorts of crazy stuff with trailers and like campers. I know that that's a thing, like with monster trucks. So yeah, a lot of options. If this game is called Wreckfest, then I kind of want to see wrecks, and I want to see lots of them. And I would also love to see the flat-out minigames come back in some capacity. In the first Wreckfest, we could fly off of certain vehicles, and then the driver character would ragdoll off of it. So let's take it to that next level. Let's knock down some bowling pins with our ragdoll, or let's play darts, or let's play skee ball, or let's do just do something fun with the ragdoll. And this could work in the multiplayer too. Maybe have everyone do their run at the same time, and the top player's run gets replayed for the entire lobby to see and laugh at. Or maybe while everyone is doing their run, you can kind of see ghost cars on the track to kind of gauge who messed up and, you know, where people are going and how they're doing it. You know, the possibilities here are endless, and I'm really stoked to see what direction Bugbear takes Wreckfest 2. But enough about me though, it's time to turn it over to you guys. If you have Wreckfest 2, will this update have you jumping back into it? It definitely did for me. And if you haven't bought Wreckfest 2 yet, does this maybe get you over the fence? Does this maybe get you to buy the game? I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Before I sign off though, I want to leave you guys with a full unedited 3-lap race of the Bravian on the European Rallycross track to showcase the new content. And a special thank you to my highest tier patrons CD-ROM Fossil and Arcade Racing Central, as well as all of my supporters on Patreon. Without you, this isn't possible, so thank you again for your contributions. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Mercy, and as always, have a good one.